is Martin LaRoche. I'm the CEO and founder of MVP Consulting Group. We're sitting here today with Angie Keys, our principal STRTP consultant.
Thank you so much for having me, Martin.
So Angie, I got a couple quick questions for you. So we provide this ongoing compliance service for our clients, our STRTP clients. Why should clients sign up for that type of service?
Compliance and quality assurance is crucial for STRTPs. One of the main components in how STRTPs maintain their accreditation as well as for the Medi-Cal site certification is ensuring that their documentation, which is assessments, progress notes, admission statements, are up to date, and also that they are submitted in a timely fashion. A lot of times providers may not find the value in quality assurance. However, that can result in them losing their contract if they're not adhering to the regulations set by the county, by the state, or by Medi-Cal.
And if they lose their contract, they won't be able to provide any services, right?
That is correct. They will not be able to provide any services, and that will result in them actually losing the contract in their county. They would have to go to another county essentially to try to get that accreditation. And what happens then is that they would actually have to reapply and submit a new mental health program application.
Yeah, it makes sense if they don't have those things in-house to reach out to a firm like MVP Consulting Group to provide those wonderful services you just outlined.
Absolutely. It is imperative when it comes to quality assurance and compliance that you have somebody that is very focused and pays attention to detail, as well as understands and knows the regulations. Failure to do that, once again, will result in a loss of the contract for the provider.
Angie, could you give our clients and the viewers watching an idea or an example of an organization that didn't have quality assurance at the forefront and how that played out and what that resulted for the organization?
Absolutely. There have been providers that we have worked with where we recommended and encouraged them to utilize MVP for consulting services. They decided not to. And unfortunately, what ended up happening was that when the county, their yearly audit, they came in and found that there was a lot of disallowances. Essentially, the company had a little bit over $100,000 in disallowances, essentially Medi-Cal waste. As a result of that, the county did not renew the contract and the STRTP had to close down.
So when you say disallowances, were services billed and not documented appropriately?
Absolutely. They were billed and not documented appropriately, as well as individuals were working outside of their scope. Okay. So outside of their scope means as a marriage and family therapist, if I'm hired to do therapy, that is my role. However, let's say that Martin is hired as a case manager, but he's doing therapeutic services, that is outside of your scope, and that's a disallowance.
And we would train the organization on what's appropriate, what staff members should be doing, and what's necessarily outside of the scope, right?
Absolutely. Part of the process with MVP, not just the training for STRTP, but also ensuring that the providers are proficient in how to do Medi-Cal documentation. That is a very strict standard that we want to ensure that our providers know that when they are documenting for specialty mental health services, such as therapy, family therapy, or targeted case management, that they're documenting appropriately and making sure that they are establishing medical necessity to keep those services provided in a timely fashion, as well as the necessity for those services for the youth and their families.
Now, these STRTP services are specific to the state of California. Do we provide virtual and on-site services?
Absolutely, virtual and on-site. Also, if needed, phone calls as well. Sometimes a provider might have a very quick question asking if, for example, can I bill for this? And we want to ensure that they can. And so that does include virtual, on-site, as well as telephone calls.
I saw something on the website about California Alliance and a partnership with MVP. Could you talk a little bit about that and why that's important?
Absolutely. So the California Alliance is essentially, they govern the STRTPs, community care reform, as well as working in a tandem with community care licensing. So a partnership with the Alliance is amazing because once again, they are providing that direct insight and guidance from the state level. They work with the counties up and down the state of California to provide policies to ensure that the providers as well as the counties are working within their realm and providing effective services.
Okay, so a partnership with the California Alliance essentially would be a benefit for our clients, correct?
Absolutely. And with being that partnership with the Alliance, they are going to provide the individuals who do decide to partner with them that firsthand information on any additional regulations and laws that are coming out. A major component with STRTPs is that there's constantly regulations that are coming out, and working with MVP, a lot of times our providers are not going to be able to tell you all the ACLs, ACNs, or PINs.
Mhm.
And that's where MVP comes into play, because we are able to provide that. We're able to provide the quality assurance and compliance, and also to reduce some of the headache, right? Because if there's about 15 regulations that are coming out a day, as a provider, are you going to have the time to read through? Sometimes there are hundreds of pages.
Mhm. Understood. Well, it seems like this quality assurance compliance officer service that MVP provides is comprehensive, and it should be utilized for clients who need that service.
Absolutely. And even in the event if a provider does have a quality assurance director, we also are able to provide that additional training to that quality assurance director, just to ensure, once again, that they are staying abreast of the regulations and the laws in California.
Well, Angie, this has been helpful. Thank you so much for the clarity.
Thank you so much.